How's it going, guys? Carl here from North Coast Constrictors in Ballito, South Africa. So I just wanted to do an update video on my current breeding season, how things are going, what we're doing, things that I may have changed around from maybe the first video I did. Because obviously when you're breeding, it's open to interpretation. You can change things, obviously depending on how your females are doing, how your males are doing, and you can, if need be, make little changes and adjustments. Whether it be from when you want to pair up the females to the males, to your temperature settings, your ambient temperature settings in your room, your temperatures on your racks. There are not all the females are the same size. Some of them are, sitting at the 1,500 gram mark. Some of them a little bit under. Some are sitting at over 3,500 grams. So when you hit breeding season and you start cooling temperatures, obviously when you start cooling temperatures, and it can affect feeding, and you don't want to affect the females that are still on the smaller size and stop them eating. It's not really an issue when you've got a female that's 2,000, 2,500 grams and she goes off food. That's not an issue because you're not really worried about body weight and condition because she's there, quite easily. However, they might be in the same rack. And let's say you've got a female that's sitting at 14 or 1,500 grams, and you're trying to get her to the 1,700 gram mark or the 1,800 gram mark, and she's on a 4, 5, 6 week breeding rotation with a male. Let's say she's part of a rotation of 5 females, and I introduce one male, a sire, to 5 different females for a certain project. And I pair them up once a week, so that female will be introduced to a male once every 5 weeks. In that time, I want her to eat, and the little hiccup can come in because at night I drop my temperatures by 4 degrees Celsius on the hotspot, and I drop it by 3 degrees Celsius in the ambient temperature in my room. Now that's something else that I've changed. In the beginning, when I was first doing my breeding season, I was planning on dropping my temperatures approximately 6 degrees Celsius on the hotspots and dropping the ambient temperature in the room about 4 or 5 degrees Celsius, okay? But based on the weather conditions outside and the fact that it still hasn't gotten really cold, haven't gone to those extremes. So instead of dropping at 6 degrees inside the tubs on the hotspots, I've only dropped at 4 degrees. Also, for the month of May, I would drop my temperatures from 9 o'clock at night till 6 o'clock in the morning. And I did that for 30 days for a 9-hour period. And then on the 1st of June, I started dropping the temperatures for 12 hours. So from anywhere between 6 and 6:30 at night, I drop the temperatures and I'll then return them back to their normal temperatures during the day. The same goes with the ambient temperature of the bedroom. So those are 2 things that I changed up. I wasn't as extreme with the temperature drops, and I did that based on, as I say, weather conditions outside. I also based it on the behavior of the females feeding and locking, because for the month of May, I was, even still now, I mean, we're sitting, the 9th of June, and I've been pairing for well over a month now, a month and 10 days, and none of my females have gone off food, okay? They are all eating ravenously, still a month into it. Now for the first month, when I started introducing males to females, I started introducing my males to my females at the beginning of May. The first pairings were undersized or underweight females that I was introducing a male to in order to trigger off a feeding response. I know there's a debate about this, and I'm not going to get into a debate about it. I'm just going to talk to you guys, from me to you, what works for me, okay? I find that introducing a male to a female, a breeding female, I'm not talking about hatchlings, yearlings, or a female that you're not going to breed that year. I'm talking about a ready to breed adult female, okay, that is 2 years old or 18 months old and sitting anywhere between 18 months and 2 years old, that has gone off food, but she is underweight. She's under 1,500 grams and she's gone off food, okay? If a female goes off food at 2,000 grams or 2,500 grams, so be it. Okay, you don't really need to stress about that, because she's got the body condition, the weight, and the fat reserves to pair up with a male, lock, ovulate, have eggs, ovulate, and lay those eggs without having any dire consequences on her health. Okay. But if you've got first-time breeders that are hovering around the 1,400 gram, 1,300 gram mark, and they are at the age now ready to breed, and like, let's say for example they were into food a couple of months before breeding season starts, which is exactly what happened to me with a couple of my females, I introduced the male that I'm going to pair them to early. Okay, whether they're locked or they're not is irrelevant. Okay, the simple reason for the pairing or the introduction was to trigger off a natural feeding response, because that is what it does. Okay, some of the naysayers will say nay. Some of the guys that have done it will say yes, it works. I'm one of those guys that say yes, it works, because it wasn't a coincidence. With me at least, and I speak for me only, every single female of mine that is breeding ready, that has gone on a hunger strike just before or during breeding season, before I've paired up to a male, as soon as I have paired that female or introduced a male into the herd tub, for just 24 hours, within 3 days, has started eating. Every single time. Not one snake or two snakes. Every single female. I'm talking about females that had gone off food for 2 months. Doesn't matter what I put in there. It doesn't matter if it was a mouse, a multi, or a rat. It doesn't matter if it was a medium, a pup, a wiener. It doesn't matter. I tried everything. They just turned their nose up at anything that I offered. The moment I put a male in there, I left it in for 24 hours, took the male out, 2-3 days later, offered it a rodent, bang, smashing, back on food. Here's an example right now. I'm going to pull out it. I'm working on the Desert Ghost project this year. It's my first year working on Desert Ghost. I have got 2 male visual Desert Ghosts. One of them is an absolute powerhouse. I might pull him out, but he's not breeding ready. He's only breeding next season. The other one is a single gene visual male Desert Ghost, which I'm pairing up to about 7 females. But he's a big boy. He's strong. He can handle 7 females. 2 of those females are pastel bamboo 100% het Desert Ghosts. Both of those females went off food. That is one of my most important pairings this season. That and my Dreamsicle project. Okay. The reason why is because he's a visual Desert Ghost. They are both 100% het Desert Ghosts with pastel and bamboo. And they went off food at 1,100 grams. And they're 2.5 years old now. So they are like ready to breed. And I introduced a male to them, and they were weighing in at about 1,100-1,200 grams. Now it's always here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just show you and I have not introduced a male to these females since that first introduction. However, they have been eating consistently now for about 4 weeks since I started, 5 weeks since I introduced a male. So we're going to pull out one of the females. Now this female was weighing approximately 1,250 grams, approximately, when she went off food. Okay, let me get it out here. I think it's this one. Okay, she was weighing 1,250 grams. She went off food 2 months before the start of breeding season. She's very important to my project. Okay, today she is weighing 1,566 grams. So she's put on 210 grams in the space of a month, or the space of five and a half weeks, okay? She is still not going to pair to that male, okay? She is still, as far as I'm concerned, even at 1,565 or 1,570 grams, I am still not ready for her to be introduced to that male. She is still pounding food. I want her to be at least 1,800 grams before I pair her up. It's only June. I've got another 2 months. I can wait another 2 months before I pair her up to my visual male desert ghost, and hopefully, because I could pair her now. I could do it. She may or may not go off food, but he's got 7 females to go with, and I'm saving the best for last, and she is the best. She's the biggest of my 100% het desert ghost females. I have 2 of these. They are identical. They are sisters from the same clutch. I'm going to pull out the sister now. But she's at breeding weight, and she's smashing food. She's eating like a boss, and she is, I fed her 2 days ago. So there's a bit of rat inside there still. But my point is that she's up to size. Now this one here that I'm about to pull out, she was 1,100 grams when she went off food. They both went off food at the same time. She was 1,100 grams. She is now 1,416 grams, 1,417 grams. Okay, and she was 1,100, just over 1,100 grams. So she's actually put on more weight. She's put on 300 and something grams in that time. She's still not at the 1.5 mark, but she's close. 2 or 3 more meals, and she's on it. Okay. So that's just an example of what's worked for me. That's just 2 of the females, and they are pairing up to this boy here. Show him. He's in the shed. It doesn't look like it because he's just come out of the blue stage, so he's going to shed in the next 24 hours. But this boyki here is 1,275 grams. He's a big boy, strong, powerhouse breeder, single gene male desert ghost. Quite easily pair him up at that weight, at 1,275 grams. Easily go with 7 females without wearing them out. Easily. So hopefully he sheds, because today is Thursday and I pair up my snakes on a weekend. I use the weekend to do my pairings, and I pair up for 2 days, 3 nights, usually a Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. Or if they've unlocked on a Sunday night, and because I check on the tubs when I've introduced the males to the females. If they've unlocked on a Sunday morning and I'll leave it. If they're still unlocked on the Sunday night, I'll pull them from the tub. If they're locked up on Sunday night still, I'll leave them until Monday. When I get home from work on Monday, before I go to work on a Monday morning, I'll look inside the tub. If they've unlocked, I'll remove them from the tub. But I will not separate snakes. I'll leave them until I see them actually unlock, and then once that happens, even if they've locked for 4 days, then I just wait. So you can never ever force snakes to unlock. You must let them get on with it and do their job. Okay. Now that particular boy, he's going to the most females this season, and the reason why is because a part of my project is to create a lot of 100% het desert ghosts with very, very good females that have got a really good combination of incomplete dominant genes. Okay, for example, let's start off with one of these girls here, Super Pastel Fire Butter. Okay, so this girl here, she's a Super Pastel Fire Butter. All right. and she is pairing up to that male desert ghost to make 100% hits, and we'll see what those babies will obviously all be holdbacks, all the females, because being 100% hit desert ghost. Let's hope we hit super pastel fire butter 100% hit desert ghosts. I mean, that's just, you know, now that's a project that is 3 years in the making, or three years in the making, because those babies, if all goes well, with all of these females, with all of my pairings, we'll have eggs at the end of the year. We'll have ovulations towards the end of the year. We'll have hatchlings towards the end of the year, depending on when the snake goes. I mean, they could go in January, they could ovulate and only lay eggs in February or March. I know guys here in South Africa have even had snakes lay eggs as late as April and hatch out babies in May and June. It has happened, which is usually when we're pairing up again. So it just depends. There are some females that'll probably lay and have their eggs, have their hatchlings by November, by October, November, or December. It just depends on the snake. It depends on the female. It's when she's ready to go, she will go. Another project that we're working on with that male desert ghost there is the leopard NC butter spider female here that I've got, and she's a beaut. She has been putting on some incredible size. This was also a snake that went off food, so I'm going to weigh her now and see where she's at. 1,937 grams. She is in the breeding rotation with that male, which means that she only sees that male, because there's 7 females going with him, she only sees him every 7 weeks. So she literally has almost 2 months of getting offered a rat every week. So for 7 weeks, 7 meals, because they're eating roughly every 7 days. They were smashing every 5 days, but then I started to notice them going a little bit like refusing. So I've now started to offer every 7 days. And I also don't stress too much about offering the big females. Once they pass the 1,800 gram mark, I don't stress too much. Here's another beautiful snake here that we really hoping. She is putting on some magnificent size. This is just she's an NC 100% het pard. She's a first year breeder. This girl here, she's a first year breeder. She wasn't even gonna go into this year's breeding season. She was, in my opinion, because when I first got her, she was only about 1,200 grams. So I wasn't gonna breed her this year. But she just ate. when I put her into my tubs. Hey, you, easy now. Let's weigh you up and see what you're weighing now. So I know how you doing. Oh, I'm almost certain I'm gonna get a tag. 1,900. So from 1,200, I think 1,250. I think she was sitting at 1,250. Okay, she's now 1,900. Okay, my sweetheart, what's up? You're just a bit curious. You know, I don't handle these snakes too often, especially during breeding season. You should try and leave them alone. I mean, you know, I try to keep up with content and make videos and whatnot, but so she's not used to getting pulled out of her tub. So when she comes out, it's all I think quite exciting for her and wants to see what's going on. But she is a beautiful NC 100% het pard, and she's being paired to a yellow belly pard male, a visual yellow belly pard male, which is another word for that is a pumpkin pod, another term. So the goal there is to produce yellow belly NC pods, hopefully. Okay. And then I've got a female. Not all my females, I lied in the beginning, I said all my females are smashing food. This one here has gone off food and will not eat. Okay. She will absolutely not touch a meal. Not for a while now. Now this is just a Mojave. She's an adult proven breeder Mojave. It doesn't matter. I've put a male in with her just a few days ago because she hasn't eaten. I'm going to weigh her now. Because she hasn't eaten and because she's up to size, I wasn't really worried about introducing a male to her because I can breed her as she is. Because she's a good chunk of change, this girl. 2,582. So she was just going to get paired up anyway, regardless. But I noticed that she wasn't eating. And I'm not really worried about her not eating. But I do want her to take in maybe another meal. So what I did is I chucked a male in with her. Another Mojave male. They did lock. They had a visual lock. and now I'm gonna offer her a meal. I think I would know it was 2 days ago. I'm gonna offer her a meal tonight. And we'll see. Hopefully she'll eat. But if she doesn't, I'm not stressed because she's over 2,500 grams. So what I'm doing at the moment is once a week on a Friday. I'm doing this video today because tomorrow I'm pairing, so I don't want to handle the females tomorrow. I don't want to do a video tomorrow on any of the snakes where I have to pull anything out. So I'm doing a quick one now. Just always love to show this boy off here. Let me grab him quickly if I can find him. Okay, he's in. I'm not wearing my glasses. It reflects. So, here we go. I always have to show him off because he's like the crown jewel in my collection. This boy here. I mean, you know how they say desert ghost gets better with age, and well, here you can see that if you've watched my very first videos. Obviously cameras never do justice, so he actually looks better in person. But this is a pastel pinstripe spot nose desert ghost 100% head hypo male. Absolute stunning snake. As you can see, he's got incredible colorings, patterns, blushing, and he is a power male that is planned for the 2023 breeding season. And I will be getting him up to the 900 to 1,000 gram mark before I pair him up. And that is because he's probably going to end up going with a good 7 females next year. So he must be well over 1,000 grams before I'll make. If a male is between 800 and 950, I'll probably put him to about 4 females at a push. Over 1,000 grams, between 1,000 and 1,200, 5 males, 5 females. And if he's like a 1,200, 1,250, 1,300 gram male, 7, 8 females. But that just takes the breeding rotation too long. To be honest, I like to pair. The ratio for me personally, I like to pair once a month. The female must have a male once a month. So I like to have 4 females per male. Yes, if there's 1 more or 2 more, it's not going to be the end of the world, okay? Ideally, I'd love to have two really powerful, like I've got that beautiful pastel pinstripe spot nose Desert Ghost 100% head harpo. Next year, and then I'll have that Desert Ghost there, plus that Desert Ghost, that visual single D Desert Ghost, and I don't know how many 100% het Desert Ghost females, and because I've got some in my hatchling racks that are still growing up to, not yearling racks that are still growing up to size, which will be breeding ready next year. But the year after that, there'll be visual ones to pair up to. Now this boy here we're talking a big, hey, see, I must be a little bit more relaxed. Sorry, boy. I gave him a bit of a skrik. A skrik is Afrikaans for fright. In South Africa, another language that we speak, Afrikaans. In fact, Afrikaans more than English. And there's Zulu and Xhosa, obviously the native languages for the African people that are South African, and for white South Africans, it's English or Afrikaans. Ek is an Engelsman. I'm an English-speaking South African. So I gave this boy a bit of a skrik. Skrik means fright in Afrikaans. This is my beautiful big pastel pied male. This boy, I actually want to weigh him. The last time I weighed him, he was about 1,300 grams. Now this boy here, I could pair him to 10 females without even worrying one little tiny bit about his weight or his condition. 1,788 grams. This boy could breed to a ton of females. He is an absolute stud. But I don't actually have 7 females to breed him to. Being a pastel pied, he is going to my yellow belly. Hold on a second, which one is it? My yellow belly 100% het pied to produce pastel yellow belly pieds, hopefully. I talk as if I'm going to have the visuals. Because she's 100% het, it's not guaranteed, but he's a visual, so I've got very good odds. And then next year, hey boy, I have got a lot of pied females, visual pied females, and pastel pied, 100% het exantics, fire pied, a lot of females that are only going to be breeding, visuals that are only going to be breeding next year. Unfortunately, this year, all my females for the pied project are 100% hets. But I've got an arsenal of pied females that'll be ready next year. An absolute arsenal of visual pied females. Black pastel pied, normal pied, yellow belly pied, pastel pied 100% het exantic VPR, all visuals, ready, fire pied, ready and waiting to lock next year. I'm not going to pull them out now. So guys, so that's what I'm doing. Those are just a couple of snakes I thought I'd pull out, make a quick YouTube video, not so quick, half an hour as usual. I'll be dropping my temperatures for June and July. I will carry on doing that until the end of July. On the 1st of August, I will then increase my temperatures to stay on year-round, as if it was off-season, back up to where I like my hot spot at 31.5. That's the sweet spot for me, 31.5 degrees Celsius on the hot spot inside the tubs on all the snakes. 32.5 degrees is okay. If a tub reaches a 33 degree hot spot, I'll start playing with the temperature thermostat to drop it down. 31.5, 32 degrees, that is my sweet spot. My ambient temperature in the room currently sitting right now is at 27.2 degrees, which is perfect. 26, 27 degrees is where you want it at. My temperature gun, which is usually never very far from me. Let's see, where's her head? Okay. Ambient temperature, 27.5 degrees on the cool end of this tub. 27.7 degrees on that tub. And oh, this girl deserves a bit of a shout out, why not? 27.9. This is a beautiful yellow belly genetic stripe, visual yellow belly genetic stripe. This is a girl that surprised me this year. I cannot tell you, she was not planned for this year. She was not planned for this season. She is going to be a first year breeder. But she is one of those snakes that is just genetically an absolute beast. I mean, if you look at her, her date of birth is February 2021. February 2021. She's not even 18 months old, okay? And I'll weigh her for you now. She is 1,882 grams. And I decided to put her, when I just saw how she was smashing food and how she was eating and how quickly she was growing, she just grew. And she is a female that is pairing up to that single gene Desert Ghost to produce double hets. 100% het genetic stripe, 100% het Desert Ghost. Whether or not she'll give me eggs, her first year remains to be seen. But if you don't have a line in the water, you're not going to catch a fish. I'm quite happy to breed her up, even though she's not 18 months old. Quite happy to lock her at 1,880 grams. Quite safe to pair that snake. So she will have 100, if she does have a successful clutch of eggs, the babies will all be 100% double het recessives for genetic stripe and Desert Ghost. And there's a project that is going to be fantastic. Visual Desert Ghost genetic stripes in a couple of years' time. Those hatchlings will be bred, the 100% hets, back to the 100% hets. And maybe, I'm always looking at Morph Market, always looking to see what other breeders are selling. Who knows, maybe there's a Desert Ghost 100% het genetic stripe for sale, or a genetic stripe 100% het Desert Ghost for sale that I find in the next couple of months. If I ever see one of those snakes, boom, I'll snap it up, whether it's a male or a female. And if it's a female, one of the males from this clutch will pair up to it. If it's a male, one of the females from this clutch will pair up to it when she's of age, and we'll just, that project will come 1 year earlier. If not, if I don't happen to find, then the hatchlings from this particular clutch, when the females reach breeding weight, will be paired up to one of the siblings, a male sibling. So 100% to 100%. To hope 100% double het, 100% double het, the genetic stripe Desert Ghost, to hopefully produce a visual Desert Ghost, a visual genetic stripe Desert Ghost genetic stripe. So guys, that's it from me. I'm going to wrap this up now because we're over half an hour. These videos always go so quickly, maybe not so much for the viewer, but for me they do. I love talking about snakes. I love talking about my ball python project. Guys, if you haven't done so already, please hit like and subscribe. Channel's growing slowly but surely. Comment if there's anything you want to add. I'd love to hear from you guys. I always make a point of replying to each and every person that comments on my videos. This is a ball python channel for all the new aspiring breeders out there. Even if you are a pro and you just watch for entertainment value, that's cool. But I'm by no means one of the top breeders, so this channel is for the new ball python breeder mostly. Hopefully you get something out of it, but I enjoy making these channels. And yeah, building up a bit of a reputation, so that that's the aim, so that one day if you're South African or even if you're overseas and I'm breeding the kind of quality snakes that you're looking for, you'll buy a snake from me because, well, you know, maybe I'll have a good name. Well, I should, hopefully. I do. I have got a good name, at least for the most part. Anyway, guys, over and out from me. I'll catch you on the next video, and yeah, looking forward to the end of the week. I blinked from Monday, it's Thursday night, and the weekend is upon us. Where does the time go? Anyway, guys, over and out from Cole, North Coast Constrictors. Cheers.